that we're done putting ourselves over. Um, it's a great day for wrestling? Question mark. As WWE did the fusion technique with UFC, they became TKO. Um, I think the most notable thing out of that announcement was that we got Street Dog Vince McMahon back. No, Scooter?
Uh, yeah, I'd say so. Uh, I mean, there are a number of offices, a number of office firings today as well. Um, I mean, I'm not sure whether or not I want Vince with the pencil mustache back.
I
I
mean,
mean,
yep.
he looks like he looks like his evil twin.
Or he just his twin at this point.
Uh, with 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 Steph back out again, and Dana White actually being included in this board uh, is surprising because the first time around, when the first numbers of names were released, Dana White was nowhere on it. But Street Thug McMahon, is he wearing the black tank top though?
No, he was wearing a lavender do rag, I would say.
Man, he looked like the Street Profits dressed him, straight up.
Oh God.
In a 2000s, like, think of a 2000s comedy movie where a black dude dress up white guy.
Yo, so only if he does what the hell is it uh only if he goes into a a fit about how nothing fits him. Ah, I'm silly that's sad. Check out my huge badonkey. Oh, who could have said that? I'm back that Betty. Oh, it's Tina the talking dummy.
I legitimately did not know where your accent was going in that whole,
It,
whole thing.
that's a scene from White Chicks.
Yeah, white chicks.
Like,
James was like 6 years old to the
I'm gonna
defense.
go out there and see if we get some real professional.
I think you
Oh,
might be
bro,
accurate on that.
Dr. Phil.
Um, in all seriousness, because you wasn't here last week, Scooter, what are your thoughts on the whole infusion and partnership between WWE and UFC into the new TKO? And what are your
um,
thoughts on the logo?
honestly, I haven't seen the logo. Um, the I read something earlier today about one of their goals is to make more UFC fans out of WWE fans and make more WWE fans out of UFC fans, as if they were almost intent on merging the two.
I don't know if you saw or not, but Dana White
Yes,
actually,
that's
yeah,
what I'm leading to. Dana White was actually the one most outspoken about this. Like, yeah, that's not the point of what either of these companies do. We're not looking to, you know, make more, UFC fans out of wrestling fans and vice versa. That's not how this industry works. You bought two, professional combat organizations, and you're kind of equating them to be the same thing when in reality they couldn't be further from each other.
Right. I mean, who watches that fake shit UFC anymore anyway, right?
I mean, I did buy, 5,000 shares of TKO, so and it's already decreased in value by 50%. So I'm broke as shit.
And then you lost the shares.
Yeah, I lost the shares, the Bette Midlers, the Dionne Warwicks, everything.
But do you still believe in life after love?
Mm, well, what am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you? Well, I can't do that. There's no turning back. But if I could turn back time, if I could find a way,
Before WWE got sold
please,
to Endeavor?
please stop me from referencing all these Cher lyrics. I know way too many Cher songs for a straight man. Please.
Speaking of shares, Kaliko, you do have shares in WWE. It's now TKO. Your thoughts on the whole matter, and Ghetto Doug Vince McMahon.
I mean, Ghetto Thug. That's someone said he looked like Zorro. They said we were looking for Zorro the whole time. I'm
Zorro.
done, man.
Zorro.
The internet is dumb. But anywho, I mean, from a share standpoint, it's to be determined because it's a new company and they're gonna try to figure out what to do. I feel like Vince being gone, it's gonna make more money sense in a way, but that all as in taking out the politics of Vince liking somebody versus not liking someone, but I think it takes away from Triple H being able to do what he truly wants to do, in a sense, right?
If he's able to do it anymore at all.
That's true. Me sitting on, I was sitting ringside with Nick Khan, you know what I'm saying? He kind of brought this up to your boy, you know what I'm saying? I saw it coming. So, no insider trading or nothing like that. But, you know, had to get some info. A little dirt. But in all seriousness, it's to be determined. We'll see how they go. They started out with a bang yesterday, so we'll see how it goes going down that path. So
Well, for
I
TKO, it started off with a bang. For a lot of its employees, it ended with a windfall, as there was supposedly, allegedly, maybe more accurately, over 100 cuts internally to WWE. The most notable name being Dana Warrior, who I didn't even know still worked for WWE.
uh yeah, she was part of the the ambassador program with
Okay.
Titus O'Neil.
but Titus seemed to me be more the face in the traveling aspect, vice Dana being more the home body. So that they're gonna cut the person who ain't traveling.
So, the yeah, continue.
I think it should also be noted that Endeavor and TKO are still considered two separate entities on the stock exchange.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Endeavor was bought by. That's why Dana White. You don't see Dana White because when Dana White owned the UFC, he sold it to Endeavor.
But he's now included on the board of directors as is Vince when everybody else expected Triple H. But that's neither here nor there now. But uh, the most important thing I think out of this is the McMahon family for the first time ever, no longer has majority ownership.
Yeah, first time ever.
So when shit goes downhill, they can't blame Vince or the AEW people who said that they wasn't gonna watch as long as Vince was there. Are they gonna come home? Because now it's officially done.
Right.
So that just tells you this is interesting because that was everyone's gripe on WWE. So now the man's gone. So now what's the excuse?
Except,
Just from a fan perspective.
but except Vince still apparently has the power to change shit.
That he
Vince
does.
is literally a succession character, my guy.
Well, we're talking about, the employees that just cut by WWE.
Um,
There is strong and heavy rumors that a lot of the main roster and NXT people will be cut in the coming months as well. It's not the best thing when people get fired by no stretch of the imagination. But we could probably agree that there are a lot of people just sitting in catering at this point when it comes to the WWE rosters, no?
hmm,
That could be the case, but the thing is that a lot of those people that are in catering for the for the TV shows are the ones doing the work on the house shows.
yeah, that's the other thing is this new venture going to think highly enough to keep house shows going? Uh, because from a business standpoint, I could see house shows being wiped out completely. Saying that, oh, you guys don't need to be on the road, so many times a week.
Well,
Um,
has WWE been a house show a
yes,
company
uh,
for the last, like, maybe
they,
three
they've
years?
they've
Yeah, especially overseas
they've just been getting back into it with Saturday night
with the
they call them Saturday night's main events and Sunday whatever. Because
and then
now they're all the weekends, and there's the NXT that go all over Florida.
Right.
yeah,
Um, there's another factor that I think we kind of have to include for now,
That being,
and that's where SmackDown is going to end up.
that part too because they're still in negotiations. They're
because
trying to find a home.
because Fox doesn't want it. It looks like it very well may end up with Amazon.
now how is that going to work?
I mean, it's the same way they air Thursday Night Football.
Okay, pretend I don't watch Thursday Night Football.
You log on to Amazon
Amazon Prime
Prime.
Live.
I mean, do you
So
need
it'd be
a Prime subscription in order to?
I would I would
that
I would
that
think
would be the friction. Yeah.
yeah I would think certain things I think that certain things would change that because I believe when they air a football game you're eligible to watch it no matter what.
No, you gotta have Prime because I
Uh,
have Prime. So you gotta have Prime to watch it.
they may as well just put it on Peacock.
Honestly, they might as well bring back the WWE Network and put it on that bitch.
I mean,
Amen.
and again, considering the other big change that's coming in 2024 uh, with uh, with AEW, finally, what I've been saying for months upon months, but as of right now, no talent has been cut. If anything, talent's come back. But the ones I see getting the cuts are the ones that have come on the most recently. You at least three EVPs that only started in 2021, and a and a an employee named Amanda Bloom, who worked as WWE's Director of Enterprise Master Data and Governance. This is seen as a major departure. She was the one behind the scenes, basically in charge of the whole company's technological infrastructure in regards to metadata, how it was used, scrutinized, and evaluated. She was also essentially the you could consider her the founding architect for the WWE network.
I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, there's supposedly 100 people got fired. It is yet to be seen if there is going to be any actual wrestlers fired, which it seems like there is. That being said, what would Gigi do to keep her shoes?
I don't know, but I can confirm that Von Wagner's eyebrow ridge will not be fired.
Damn.
Can't say the same for Von Wagner himself, though.
Just gonna be the forehead.
I mean, hey, we're still looking for the hairlines of the Young Bucks, so.
Well, luckily they're on another show that isn't owned by Endeavor, so they're okay in that respect. One person may or may not be on the chopping block, and that's not because of the Endeavor merge, and that is Matt Riddle, who said that he was and I quote, sexually assaulted
by a police officer at my airport.
You want an airport?
JFK, what a
JFK.
What a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but Riddle is. It's funny how Riddle is. Because he deleted this almost immediately, but everybody now knows it. Because, hey, once you post something, it never goes away.
Indeed, it does not.
The fact that he claimed assault, after going through being accused himself, and basically those accusations were true, but at the same time Riddle was also being stalked by somebody else I know quite well. I'm not going to get into that, but it's why Riddle was kept off Raw. That's why Mick Riddle is probably not going to exist anymore.
I didn't realize that was their team name.
Yeah, Mick Riddle. Cool. But we could expect him to show up on Dynamite as Mark Mystery or Mark Enigma or something like that.
Cool beans. Kaliko, your thoughts on Matt Riddle maybe getting, let's say he's flying too close to the sun, essentially. No? Your thoughts.
Fire instead of hire.
Could we at
I
least
think
get the guy that is driving your train, his opinion?
the wine got to him.
Maybe he's ordering another one.
See?
Yeah.
Never ordering another wine. I was trying to make sure that you know, make sure I had signal. But anywho, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I don't know why they didn't call him McGriddle because that's my favorite breakfast sandwich of all time.
That's the whole point. Is when you say McGriddle, it sounds like you're actually saying the G.
I love the McGriddle sausage. Oh man, that's just so fire. Anyways, uh, I mean, he's at this point where he's kind of feel like he doesn't have to be judged by anybody. You can tell by his demeanor and who he hangs with, the company he keeps. Is he's keeping the company or does the company keeping him? So it's unfortunate, but
That is a riddle unto itself.
man, I love how he segues that. That's what I'm talking about.
It's
See,
just
that's why we need to.
it's just a sad situation because this guy is talented. He has a lot of upside. It's just the fact that
He's a fucking moron.
yeah. I mean, you're not gonna get a more accurate description of Matt Riddle than that. Yeah. All right. That being said, and maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe this is the end of the riddle. Maybe this riddle got solved. Who knows? But a new riddle that was solved. Nia Jax returned.
Yeah.
Um,
My boo.
during a match
I
between
know our baby.
Rhea Ripley and Rachel Gonzalez.
Rachel, Jesus Christ, kid.
She aided in Ripley winning the title and then put her sights on Ripley herself. So they're throwing her right back into the fire. Um, and it definitely was a surprise. It definitely popped me. And Nia is looking good. Seems like she's been hitting that Jenny Craig.
It's funny because she had put out an announcement that saying she was going by her real name from now on.
Hmm.
Like that was only like a month or so ago.
Pretty much.
So it's
I'm assuming you and Kimiko drew a ticker tape parade outside the pizza parlor, right?
for the Samoan celestial goddess. Yes,
Yeah, I was cartwheeling in Carlsbad, homie. What are you talking about?
I'll be
In our
her.
hometown.
I'll be her Huckleberry.
I be your huckleberry. I drink her bathwater, but that's all.
Oh God, I'm about to get really gross. Everybody, cover your ears.
This,
I,
this was the simp portion of the show, and we are moving on now.
I suck a fart from her ass like a bong hit. Like,
Why? Just why?
why not?
Yeah, why not?
One one of the things that I feel is the most beneficial thing of having Nia back on the roster is that we might actually get to see a Becky Lynch Nia Jax match finally.
That
Um,
ain't happening.
it might happen, but considering
Well,
where Becky is right now, and that is on NXT,
and
she
as
defeated
the champion,
Tiffany
yes.
Stratton to win the NXT Women's Championship in the main event. Good match. Couldn't say that I knew who Tiffany Stratton was before this match. Um,
What?
See,
Damn it, James.
this is why Kaliko and I watch NXT.
oh no,
They
that's
Yeah,
got
definitely
because
not why you guys watch NXT, and it's definitely not for pro
it,
wrestling. If I'm being honest. Um,
uh, are you kidding?
actually, it's been fire lately.
It really has.
It's been fire lately. I ain't even gonna lie. It honestly, I think this is the best it's been since the Black and Gold days.
Both people agree because it was it was the most viewed episode of NXT in over 3 years. So having the man on NXT definitely worked.
Their idea of having a couple of main roster talent do a little work in NXT is how it should have always been done.
Yeah, Punk did it.
Yeah,
Seth has done it.
you know, because if a main roster talent comes to NXT, then they should, for storytelling purposes, they should be looked up to by the whole NXT roster. Because by their own definition, they the main roster superstars have succeeded.
Right.
So, um,
I mean,
I
I'll
mean,
be honest. I watched the match between Becky and Tiffany. I wanted to see what was going to happen. I wanted to see how they were going to get out of put having Becky win, but keeping the title on Tiffany. But it didn't happen. Becky won.
you
And
know,
yeah,
I mean, usually in those cases, but most people, the right thing happens, and the NXT start most of the time goes over. I mean, I'm not Tiffany Stratton's biggest fan, but then again, I've always hated that type of gimmick.
the
You
daddy's
know,
girl.
the yeah the yeah the daddy's girl, the Jewish American princess girl, the spoiled brat.
Right. You know, gimmicks aside, it didn't seem like they were putting her over. They were getting her over with the fans, and I mean, she had the title on. Um, does it somewhat cut the legs out of Stratton having literally the biggest star in the company come in and take what's yours, Kaliko?
I'm gonna say no, and here's why. Because if James had been doing his due diligence and been paying attention to NXT, you would notice that half the roster that would be formidable opponents are out with injuries. Nikita Lyons barely just came back. Sol DeLuca is out with ACL. Like a lot of the women are out with ACL tears, and that roster was already thin as it was.
Corey
So
Jade, Wendy Chu, all out.
yep, all out. So it's just like they didn't have anyone who they believe would be credible. And you may say Tiffany Stratton lost. Nah, she won. She won on Instagram and Twitter, Trust that. But 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 if you looked at the roster in itself, though, 90% of that roster was out with injury. So it only made sense for someone like Becky Lynch to be there so she could carry a match. and actually put out banger women's matches like how they used to until the roster gets fully healthy.
Hmm. All right. So that being said, do you see Tiffany Stratton getting a clean victory over Becky Lynch to retain the championship somewhere in the future?
No, because I think it was tricky because if they're still trying to push it as a developmental, that should happen. But if they're trying to push it as a third brand, it won't happen.
I, considering that NXT's next event is No Mercy, um, I I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Trish in to work NXT a bit.
I mean, but would she though? I mean, going being one of the lead storylines on Monday Night Raw to a storyline on the Dord brand, would she be in front of like maybe a handful of people? Is that appealing to somebody like Trish Stratus?
I mean,
Well,
that's
if it's at No Mercy, then no. I mean, if it's at No Mercy, it makes sense. But if it depends on her schedule. I mean, she worked this whole schedule with no problem, so I wouldn't see why she wouldn't be able to work less dates.
And I mean, besides, she finished the storyline with Becky, tied it in a neat little bow. I wouldn't touch it again. Right. Um.
Well, let's see what Scooter's got to say about fight.
well. I mean, unless I mean, if they're plan, I don't know if they're planning to uh, you know, put Trish up against Zoe after Zoe turned face. I'm I'm kind of surprised that Lita was not brought back in any capacity.
I think Lita wanted to come back. I think she filled her dates out, and and she did it, and she was good with that.
I,
You mean you're surprised that the high school art teacher didn't come back? God damn it, Irvine.
What was that about the senator? Um. And did did so return face? It was kind of more of a tweener right now.
no, that I would say that's clearly a face turn. Uh, I mean, Shayna, who was also a face, shook hands with Zoe after their match. So
It kind of seems like
it's
she's in her redemption arc at this point.
yeah.
They're trying to get the people behind her rather than the people are behind her right now. Well, like I said, NXT did the right thing bringing Becky Lynch. They drew one of their highest rated shows in 3 years. Um, with that being said, on the opposite end of that spectrum, AEW drew the smallest crowd with 2,667 fans, and I believe it was Cincinnati, Ohio. Um,
Yep, Bengal
inside a
country.
17,000 seat arena. Um, oh how they fall from grace so fastly, going
I,
from 81,000 people to 2,600 in a matter of
and
a week.
I mean, given the fact that it looks like AEW's pay-per-views will be coming to Max in 2024.
I did not see that.
Yep. That is the other big news I was alluding to earlier. Uh, More than likely, AEW pay-per-views will find their way to Max. It's unknown at this time whether or not they will be just available to regular subscribers, or if there will be an additional fee incurred, like how UFC is with ESPN Plus or Bleacher Report. But they are coming off Bleacher Report.
Well, we are getting more AEW paid
Yes,
previews in the
yes,
future.
yes,
October
Evan.
between this would be the first time we had 3 or 4 paid previews in 4 months. Um, I mean, October is Wrestle Dream, and then November is Full Gear. Um, it's great to have paid previews monthly. I don't know how that's gonna be with a price point though. I'm not exactly sure how much All In and All Out were, but I'm assuming they were $50 each, right?
Yeah, and probably even more if they were like in 4K or whatever, like 2160 output or something. Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
50
it
bucks every like what 3 months? I mean that's okay because you don't get those paid previews often. You're
it
only paying like $9.99 for the PLEs for Peacock, but
here's
$50 a month for AEW, that seems like a lot to ask.
here's the thing. Um, you know, Warner Discovery had its own thing that eventually got absorbed into Max. The thing about Max is that it Max started off with an already established customer base, because if you had HBO through any cable provider, you automatically got Max access to Max for free.
Right.
So, and Max is one of the few streaming services that doesn't use doesn't use ads, or has a tier based model that includes ads.
That's right. Well, last time I had it
Um,
though. Anyway.
um, so it remains to be seen how those will be handled. I mean, a couple of streaming services are going up in price. Fuck you, Disney Plus. Even though you're roping me in with Ahsoka, yeah, motherfuckers. You're making that so good that uh,
They just keep putting on content with Hayden Christian, and you got Scooter Dust for life.
hey, more time travel the better. But again, does will this mean Max gets its own, like, Ring of Honor AEW archive section? Who knows? I mean, they really got to get their fucking storytelling together.
Well, let's put the archives on hold for right now and talk about the new content if they do have, even if they don't have HBO Max. and monthly paid previews, but there is going to be monthly paid previews as of right now. How are they going to have these monthly paid previews with 3 shows a week, and you're only pulling in below 3,000 people for each event? It seems, it seems like they're asking a lot. No, Kaliko?
They are, especially considering they fired arguably their biggest star. So it's the Punk effect, man. I think Punk is a cult. He's a cult. I mean, but now the cult's gone. So now it's like anti establishment, right? Like it's kind of weird. But
What?
a but 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 AEW asking these people to fork that money, it is gonna be interesting. Now, unless they go to Max. If they go to Max, that kind of covers a lot of it. And I hope that they don't do the buffer like ESPN, because Jesus, $70 a month for something that is really lackluster, unless it's like Conor McGregor or John Jones, is really asking a lot.
Yes, but on the other side of that spectrum, how do they expect fans to come to these events to actually make it look good without going into, essentially a bingo hall?
Bring back Punk, because that's the only way that's gonna happen. I'm dead ass. I think it's weird because it's a weird dichotomy because they got certain people that could be on the way out, and
I mean,
it's just a weird time for them
their
right now.
their second biggest homemade female star is headed up north.
Right.
Yep,
She's going to Canada?
possibly. Rumors going. Ricky Stark too. Yeah, they're going to Toronto.
Yeah. Jade Cargill is headed to the WWE.
Yeah.
So
And we'll get to that in a little bit. But, it does feel like, what they did in Wembley, that's not an easy feat. That's, that
hmm,
is a very important thing that they did. It's not about an ad, but
yes,
they didn't capitalize on it. Um, there
and
was no media around it. Whenever WWE does, those shows, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, you always hear the next night, oh, we broke this record, we did this. ESPN covered this. The New York Times covered this. We were on the, what was it called?
the
Good Morning
Today Show,
America.
the
Uh,
Today Show usually.
they made sure that, not just the event itself, but the whole everything surrounding it was publicized and that you knew that it was there.
See, this is the part of the business Tony Khan does not understand. Is that he's trying to run it like he runs the Jaguars.
But doesn't
And
the
I
He
get
Jaguar?
why, because I get why he would do that, because the NFL sells itself,
Yes, but there's a
and
reason
that's the
the
problem.
NFL
Yeah,
sells itself because the NFL has been around for quite some time. The Jaguars were already an established franchise before Tony Khan, I mean, they were relatively new a number of years ago, but Tony Khan is operating this company as if there's no bottom, if there's no bottoming out for him. It's as if he doesn't think failure is possible. He's.
I mean, is there a bottom? As long as his daddy keeps, paying for it, there isn't going to be a bottom for him.
Uh,
He's
and
essentially the male Tiffany Stratton.
see, and again, this is what I said a number of weeks ago. Wembley Stadium sold out not because it was AEW, but because it was pro wrestling.
Right.
The people who bought tickets so they could say they were at the first wrestling event in Wembley in 30 years. The card, the event itself, was inconsequential. They made themselves irrelevant.
I didn't necessarily think it was the worst show that they did, the Wembley show. I thought it was actually pretty good paced, considering what they did 1 week later. Um,
Oh, God.
but I you had all those storylines, you did all those things. Was there a bump in ratings the next Wednesday on Dynamite? I don't think so. They don't know how to maintain that buzz. They don't know how to get the people continuously talking about them.
Yeah.
They had
No,
oh
that is not the problem. Because the problem is that one, the London thing was marred by Punk and Perry.
San Juan Capistrano. Watch your step.
And as I'm arriving in San Juan Capistrano.
But
But
Swallows.
I know, right? So AEW was marred by Punk and Perry, the Dynamite show. But then you got to look at from day one, their base has been just anti WWE. They The point was that show AEW was never really meant to cater to, in my mind, it was never meant to cater to casuals.
right.
I felt like it was just a grandiose impact.
It's a grandiose ECW at this point. I mean, I'm surprised like several new strains of hepatitis have not developed out of the
True,
AEW with how much blood they draw.
true. But that was always my point. My point was, it's like it's like a restaurant opening a mom and pop shop, and they have this one dish, but that one dish is hella good, and only the base comes to get it. They're not looking to expand. They're not looking to grow. They just looking to cater to that base. As it,
Career.
so that's what AEW is in a nutshell.
Well, if the 2,600 fans wasn't a big kick to the nuts, this definitely is. The 81,000 fans that were claimed to be in Wembley Stadium, and somebody from the stadium executive, whatever you want to call him, said that the actual turnstile number was 72,265, which is roughly, that's a far cry from 81,000, if you ask me.
Yeah, because they were counting people. They weren't counting tickets.
They're counting people breathing.
Like they were counting asses. They might have been counting cheeks.
2 cheeks per person?
Yes, 2 cheeks. No, 2 cheeks per one ass.
Yeah.
So people have 2 asses.
Except for Punk.
Um,
Cry
it,
me a river.
people were saying, "Oh, it was the biggest. It outdrew WrestleMania 32. That it was the biggest event in wrestling history."
Mm.
No. Just like WWE, they have, they made the facts their own, which is, it's great for anybody that wants to believe it. No,
You know, and that surprises me because you never saw anybody from where the WWE has held pay-per-views, turn sell wrap them out to the dirt sheets. I mean, in 1987, nobody could. Yeah, there were very few dirt sheets, and they went by snail mail. So
did you actually hear about there was somebody that had the tape of WrestleMania 3 and was going to count each head that he saw in the crowd?
yeah, I mean, I'm like, rumor has it that guy's still counting to this very day.
Whereas,
Forty
was
thousand 682. Was it? Shit, I lost count. One, two and a
what's Chris
half.
Sampson when you meet him? Uh,
I mean, but they easily could have did it in 2016 with the Dallas numbers.
that's the one we were
Someone
talking
easily could
about.
have ratted them out.
But that's the thing is that the WWE they their numbers are are more accurate, and there's no reason for them to inflate them, especially in this day and age, considering that they're a publicly traded company. If they were to do that, it would be fraud.
Yes, for stock purposes. Yep.
Well, continuing on numbers, John Moxley revealed that he has the arthritis of a 70-year-old.
Yeah, and the belt of an Orange Cassidy.
This is correct. He also said that if wrestling matches were in the morning, he beats screwed because he can't move, and by the time it's time for his match, he's more loosened up than limber.
That he never took the time off he was supposed to.
And
But that was because of Punk. See how this
he has
Well,
that was because of Punk.
well,
he has
you know what the
arthritis of a 70-year-old. He has the forehead of a 80-year-old woman,
of,
actually.
of a newly circumcised baby. So many cuts.
Ouch.
Well, you know what they say: chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
And honestly, that's the only reason I'm watching AEW at this
Yes,
point.
that is the only reason I watch Dynamite now, to see Tony Storm's breakdown. That is by far the most genius thing in all of AEW right now. Broken Starlet Tony.
You know, I'm okay with seeing MJF and Samoa Joe. I think it's gonna be good shit. But the only reason I'm going to watch Grand Slam on Wednesday is Tony Storm versus Soraya, just to
I
see
mean,
what crazy shit's gonna happen.
just to see how they're going to work Tits into her promo,
Right.
and if she's going to feel up Renee again. Watch for the shoe. All you do is poke, poke, pokey poke.
Well, Another female star that we mentioned is out of the company, or is allegedly out of the company, is Jade Cargill.
Yep.
And it does seem like if WWE does pick her up, it's more to say, Nana, 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 we have her, rather than them actually wanting her. Would I be right and or wrong to say that, Luther?
I don't think that's the case. You remember when everybody was praying that Bianca would have an opponent like Jade Cargill?
No, I don't.
Seems like oh, trust me, Black Twitter was having a field day with it. Anyways, that seems to be more likely to happen now, based on the rumors. Uh, saying she's going to skip NXT altogether. Now, I think she needs a couple days up in that bitch, but
Yeah.
she needs a couple weeks up in that bitch.
I mean,
But after that, then you can do it.
if they can, if the commentators can guess who she's actually trying to dress like, and
They will tell them beforehand who
I,
she's trying
I
to
mean,
dress like.
if she wears that piece of butt floss she wore when she was trying to be She-Hulk, like that was like, god damn, how did you not have hemorrhoids after that? Ow.
Will you stop it?
The thing is that clearly AEW is intending on bringing in Mercedes Moné, Sasha, and but she's still in that ankle boot,
Right.
so it's going to be quite a number of months before she steps into any ring,
It's been a couple of months already.
and it's going to be more. But the WWE needs another wrestler for that demographic, an African American female. Because I'm sorry, the metaphor are not doing it. You know, I respect Noam Dar's preferences, um, but Jade Cargill being there would be more than just them making faces at AEW going, yeah, you lost your homegrown talent. It's more of it's I don't want to say affirmative action, but it's more to represent something that's missing. And I think Jade is going to find out very fast that that WWE style is nothing like AEW.
Oh yeah.
I think I think she's going to get Scott Steinered. Quite honestly,
She's a genetic freak, and usually people have a 50% chance of winning, but against her they have a.
no, don't do MJF math, please.
I'm not doing MGF now. I'm doing Steiner math. Fuck that guy.
Come on. Oh, because it got 66% just because it's in my hometown. But then you take that I have a 98% chance, which means I got a 146% chance of winning. God. Uh, God, I love Max. The question is that will Max be part of Samoa Joe's security team? That's the question. But Jade Jade is going to be under a very rude awakening, I think. Um,
I
okay,
think.
maybe
Oh, continue.
okay, maybe not Cassandra, but we might have another EC3 situation on our hands.
Hmm. could see that happening, and that's what I was going to kind of allude to myself. As long as there is a Bianca Belair on the roster, Jade is never going to be the number one babyface. And she obviously thinks very highly of herself. Um, so, if she's not number one and she's not going to be number one, then it's not going to go well for her. And I don't think it is because, WWE is very different than AEW and how things are ran. And like you said, it's going to be a rude awakening for her.
I
And
don't think so. As long as them commas are zeros, she's good.
well, I
But
mean, if she's happy with, just making money, then she could do that very easily. I heard that they have great Uncrustables in catering.
I have great Uncrustables in my fridge. Yes, that's a good catering.
Um, that being said, a reunion has been cut short. The proud and the powerful have broken up completely. Those issues that we thought were resolved were not resolved, and now they're broken up and never getting back together. And Santana is now on his own, Ortiz is on his own, and the whole world is crying, I suppose. Um,
Uh, oh, that reminds me of another release. Uh, the Grizzly Young Veterans got their release finally.
well, congratulations to them.
Their contract expired. They'll more than likely show up in AEW.
Well, they won't be fighting proud and powerful. I think Santana has some upside, but I think this might be it for Ortiz. Kaliko?
Yes, sir. Are
So,
you asking me about Pride and
yes, I am.
Powerful or LAX or whatever the hell they call themselves nowadays?
Mike Santana and Ortiz.
Because honest, I mean, nobody was. If they got back together in the woods, would anyone hear it?
Taking one from my book. Alright. Well, I think it's not going to be any more accurate than that statement. Um, in the same vein, Impact Wrestling had their 1000th episode.
In my neck of the woods.
Yeah, so they have more episodes than Gunsmoke, but not as many as One Piece. So they're in a very exclusive run. No, Scooter?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think they're just above the Simpsons now. Um, I mean, if a company holds its 1000th episode in the middle of the woods, does anybody see it?
Well, it was somewhat lackluster, but, they did the best with what they can, and, you can't ask for more than that, right?
Uh, hey, Mickey James like 13th return.
They brought back Shockboy for Pete's sake.
I know. I can't. And America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always happy to see James Storm.
Ah, sorry about your damn luck.
Kaliko, Impact 1000. Thoughts? No? Did we lose Kaliko?
Is he in a tunnel? I think he's on his like sixth glass of wine,
Yeah, it's a bit
maybe
of
even
ways
bottle.
between Capistrano and San Diego. So
Ba-da-ba-ba. San Diego, jacket, smacky smack.
all right, and we are moving on. Courtney B said that she was open to a WrestleMania 40 appearance.
Who cares?
I mean, the possibilities are endless in that scenario, no?
No, they stopped. They stopped the letter B.
I mean, obviously, you know,
It depends on how much cardio she does.
I mean, it's going to. People are going to talk about if she does something, no?
It's- What else is she gonna do besides sing?
I mean, she's looking at the. She's
Is,
seen.
is she gonna be WWE's answer to bring it to Trina when Jade Cargill debuts?
I mean, obviously, a bitch is going to call her snuggly, and, she's going to beat her ass. I wish I could say the rest of those lyrics, but, no.
Uh, you know, I mean, if she refers to her vagina as a lake again, like she does in Bodak Yellow, then we have something. We could talk about how there's like mosquitoes all around it. How kids went to summer camp in it. And how a disabled boy drowned at uh, Camp Cardi B's badge and became a mass killer.
Is that why he became Jason? The
Yes, I mean,
toxicity of Blake Carnegie.
I mean, I mean, there's also a bread factory in there.
Kaliko, your thoughts on Courtney B at WrestleMania, possibly.
God help us all.
And her lake-like vagina.
God help us all. Just help us all.
You, you, you,
If that is the case,
you
because
know,
honestly, no one's gonna. I
oh,
mean, females might care, but I don't know about. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why would Cardi B be at like a show where a lot of women
silly.
don't go to?
Um, you know who I think Cardi B would have the best effect with?
Sure.
Pretty Deadly.
Oh god, that'd be awesome.
Put her with Pretty Deadly. That's gold. That's a license to print money right there.
And I would buy a ticket for that show. Um, the people that bought tickets for SmackDown last night was treated to something incredible. The return of The Rock. After, his failed movie career and his failed football career, and then his failed football owning of a football company
No,
What do
his,
you
endeavors.
mean? Wait,
his movie career
What?
is not failed.
I mean,
The
did you
football
see?
league is year one. It's year one,
Yeah,
dude.
but no, no, XFL is folded again.
Again?
Yeah, it folded.
Oh
It's it,
gosh, this.
it,
All I'm saying is the guy lost a lot of money, so he came crawling back to WWE.
I mean, he's also got a number of brands likeness rights from Fortnite that he doesn't owe. Of which the WWE don't take a cut. Uh, like with Cena, Becky, and Bianca. Um, he may have to. He might have to, downgrade from a 50-room mansion to a 49-room mansion. That's about it.
Well, he confronted Austin
Damn.
Theory last night.
Who's living his best life, by the way? Austin Theory's living his best life.
A-Town Down Under.
I mean, this dude got The Rock, Austin, Lesnar, McMahon. He's literally got the half of the attitude there.
And still
Cena, Cena. This dude's living his best life.
and he's still not any better.
True, but I mean, can't help it though.
I
Gotta
mean,
love it.
it does leave me some hope for a couple more dream matches though. Um, I mean, now. Don't tell me a Rock LA Knight promo would be. Don't tell me you would bet. That would be absolutely incredible.
I mean, that was the way they should have gone, rather than Austin Theory.
Well, people like seeing Theory get his ass kicked, so
Well, that's true.
um,
Was this just an insignificant one-off, or is The Rock actually back?
I I really think this is the road to Rock and Roman at 40, and it will not be a title match when it happens. Um, and I have a whole theory on this. So I'm gonna wait to explain it until uh, until we're done with this segment because I have a whole way of getting to it, and it involves Jay and it involves Cody too. So
Any last thoughts on the Rock, Kaliko?
I mean, they pulled it out of their ass. It was like, welcome to the TKO era. Here's The Rock for you. And everybody went ape shit.
Yay, we love it now.
Yay, we love him now. Yay. Yay. Welcome home. We don't care that you were messed up in Hawaii and failed your NFL league. But hey, be good for him. And like I said, Austin Theory is living his best life right now.
here's the thing: Roman will not be wrestling again until Crown Jewel the first week of November. That's when he's showing up. Well, he's going to show up, but that's when he's actually going to compete.
Right.
Now, we've gone back so much on who's the one to defeat Roman. Is it Jay's story? Is it Cody's story? Is it either of them's story? And it got me wondering, why is Cody getting the credit for bringing Jay Uso to Raw? And the only thing I can come up with is that Cody's the one going to SmackDown. So, how do we get the belt off Roman in this case? It's kind of simple. Who is the one man Roman could never beat in a title match?
Oh, Seth.
Seth.
Yeah.
how much would Roman's ego be bruised if Jay could do the one thing Roman never could? You have Jay beat Seth for the belt, and then you kind of have Roman thinking he wants to go after that belt, and think like, oh great, we're gonna get another new title. But no, that's when we run back Cody and Roman, and that's when Roman loses it. He's gonna lose it because of The Rock. He's gonna want to go to Raw and face Jay, but pride is gonna get in the way, and that's how we're gonna build to Rock and Roman in a non-title scenario. At the same time, that's when you could also do Jay versus Jimmy. Cody gets his title. Jay finally puts an end to the story. Rock and Roman can happen without any real implications. It can be what it needs to be. A one-off attraction.
I mean, it's only a possibility. But where in there does Roman Reigns win the UFC championship?
I think he might actually be. I think he might be quarterbacking for the Jets this season.
There's no money in that.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers. God damn it.
It's definitely a concept. And we would probably. It just seems like, everything that we have thought about or concept, conceptualized has gone out the window when it comes to this. But, I mean, if it does work out that way, that would be great.
I mean, if we end up going, into Bruno Sammartino territory,
7 years?
I mean, by that point, you might as well just show the fans as a bunch of skeletons. 7 years later. That's all pale white skeletons in the crowd.
Cody can't finish the story because we don't remember the story. He's so old.
What is the story? Good Night Moon.
Well, let's put a pin in this for now. Because we have to.
I put a pin in it. My
Well,
word.
to finish up the news because we need to get to our next segment. It's going to take us a while. But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.